What's up, guys? Back at another edition of Generations. Back on with Gavin. We're here to talk about some NFL football. The championship playoffs are this weekend. We're kind of excited about that. We're going to talk a little bit about that and the matchups and some of our predictions on what we think is going to happen. And then, we're going to get into a little bit of the Royal Rumble that's going on out here in St. Pete. We had some things to do today, or Gavin and I would have got tickets to go to the show. We were excited to see that it was coming here, but we had some other previous engagements. Shout out to Gia and her team at Top Dog Jade brought home the national championship today in cheering competition. They were great and brought home the gold, and we were happy. They got rings and everything, so it was pretty cool to go out there and do that. Try to hurry up and hustle and get back in time to get this podcast going. Gavin and I wanted to talk, like I said, about the playoffs, and then we're going to talk afterwards. We're going to bring on Joe, my cousin, and he's all the way out in San Antonio. We're going to bring him on. We're going to chop it up about the Royal Rumble, the couple matches they got, and then a little bit about the Rumble itself, kind of prelude into what the Rumble means and where it's going to go, and the matchups it sets up probably for WrestleMania, and then which is going to set us up for a show that we're going to try to plan to do throughout throughout WrestleMania, where we're going to get on and chop it up throughout the entire show, and you're going to see live reactions and everything to the matches and all that's going on. So, yeah, you got anything to say about that, G?
No. I mean, let's get into the show. I'm excited, and I don't know. I'm excited for the show, so let's go.
All right, man, let's get it going. Here we go. Generations coming at you.
Okay.
All right, welcome back. Gavin and I are excited. We're going to talk about the NFL championship round of playoffs. I know you've been excited for this. You kind of have watched two of these four teams going. You kind of predicted that the two teams were going to probably make the championship game, and they're well on their way. They're down to the final four teams, and two of them you kind of thought were going to be there at the end. So let's go ahead and talk about that. First game is going to be Baltimore versus Kansas City at 3 p.m. tomorrow on CBS. What you think about that? Talk to me.
Well, the Baltimore Ravens, they showed what the one team is when they went out there. They didn't destroy the Houston Texans, but they beat them pretty badly, which is, I don't know, they beat them. They beat them badly. It was 31-10 was the score, but they showed them that we're the better team. But I think the Houston Texans will be back there eventually because they're a young team. They'll be back there. Same thing with the Packers game we'll talk about in a little bit with the 49ers. But the Houston Texans will be back there. And then about the Kansas City Chiefs, I didn't think they were going to beat the Bills. But, I mean, Josh Allen can't beat Mahomes when it matters. It's crazy. Mahomes doesn't lose in the playoffs, bro. Keeps winning and keeps winning. And I know, a bunch of people don't want him to win this game, but don't be surprised if Mahomes pulls it out and beats the Baltimore Ravens. So, that's my – I don't know. It's going to be a really good game. Two really good offenses. Baltimore has a good defense. So does Kansas City. But the Buffalo wide right, that really killed Buffalo. That was a shot to the foot. Sucked. I was watching that game. And but don't be surprised. Kansas City, Mahomes, Isaiah Pacheco, like we were saying, he runs like an animal. So I'm really excited for this game. This is gonna be probably the better game of the weekend, I think.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a great game. Yeah, I think Baltimore's got some weapons. They're gonna come out. They slowed CJ and the Texans down, and I think after watching what the Texans were able to do with Cleveland and how they were able to pick apart that defense that was, the top ranked defense all season long. We thought that they might have had a chance going against Baltimore, and Baltimore showed that not to be true, which, shows that they're the more dominant team, in the NFL, which is not surprising. Baltimore's been a tough team. They now have a real chip on their shoulder, coming out and been kind of put down all season long. This is the game that matters, though. This game against Kansas City, against Patrick Mahomes, like if Lamar wants to take that step to get to the next level, he's got to beat this guy. He's got to beat Patrick. He's got to beat that Kansas City Chiefs team, and that's the only way that he can solidify what it is that he's trying to do in this game. And I think he can do it. I think it's going to be tough, but I think he can do it. It's going to be a great matchup. Kansas City, their defense, like you and I always talk about, is very underrated. They got a good, strong defense. Their offense is kind of banged up. Patrick always plays banged up. Kelsey still hasn't played the way Travis knows how to play. I'm waiting for that breakout game. This may be it. But, like you and I said, Isaiah Pacheco is the one kind of leading the charge. The game in Kansas City, the first game that the wild card series game, that he was able to run them into the next round. And, he's doing it throughout the playoffs, and I think he'll continue to do it. He's going to be tough. But I think it's going to be a great matchup to watch. I'm excited to watch it. Probably will be the better of the two games tomorrow. So, yeah, I'm excited. What you got?
I don't think you can count out Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs ever. You can't ever count them out. But and Lamar has won 2 playoff games in his entire career. So I really don't know, like, if Lamar has what it takes to beat a Mahomes, who's been in the AFC Championship the last 5 years, and he's been a starter for 5 years. So that shows you how good of a player Patrick Mahomes really is. And I don't know if Baltimore is gonna pull it out, but I think they will. I think the final score will be 31-24. I think Baltimore wins here and moves on to the Super Bowl.
Okay. That's a legit, guess at it. I think that it's going to be a great matchup as well. I'm kind of sad that it's the early game. I wish it was the later game, so that you and I could actually sit down and kind of really watch it and analyze it and not have to worry about you finishing homework or stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. I think that this is the time now for Lamar to take that next step. I think it's their chance. Baltimore's going to come out and play. I just think Kansas City's too banged up. Not saying that Patrick can't do it, because Patrick has done it in the past and he's been great. I just don't know if
he can do it again if he can stun the world again.
And he can. He definitely can. He can always. I mean, he's clutch in these times, and he can definitely do it. I just don't know if this Baltimore team's going to let that happen. So yeah, I think it's going to be a great game, but I do think Baltimore's going to pull it out. I think it's going to be a close one. I'm going to say 28-24 Baltimore.
Yeah, I don't think Patrick's going to get it out of a one-score game, really. That's why.
Yeah. It'll be close. Next matchup, it'll be the Detroit Lions versus the San Francisco 49ers at 6:30 tomorrow on Fox. Talk to me about this one, big guy. What you
got? The 49ers looked terrible against the Packers. They looked like not a number 1 seed. But we saw the Packers not blow out, but they blew out basically the Cowboys, which was shocking everyone, because everyone thought it was going to be Cowboys 49ers in the NFC Championship. But the Packers stunned everyone. And I really think that the 49ers didn't prove enough last week to be the 1 seed like Baltimore did last week. And with Detroit beat Tampa Bay. They beat the Rams, and they've had the two best games all playoffs. The two
Yeah,
best games all playoffs. The
that's
two
true.
closest, they've had the two best games all playoffs, and I think this Detroit team is on a roll, and I don't know if the 49ers can beat them. Like this is gonna be a good game. It's gonna be an amazing game to watch. So yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's going to be a great game. I think that Detroit has fought their way um, throughout the whole season and throughout these playoffs, and people have underestimated them the entire time. You and I talk about this all the time because Detroit gets the bad rap, like the Clevelands of the world and Detroit, and they everybody wants to say, yeah, but they're Detroit, and it's like, yeah, but this team is different. This is a pretty good team. This team wouldn't be standing here right now in the NFC Championship game if they weren't different, and I think that, we talked about how, the Coach Campbell's got a chip on his shoulder and Jared Goff's got a chip on his shoulder. And, this team's just different. The defense is good. They're going to attack you and they're going to, come to play. And they surprised Tampa. I think Tampa thought that they were going to come in and do a little bit more than they did. They surprised the Rams. The Rams weren't expecting for Detroit to play as hard as they did. That place in Detroit was rocking. And, yeah, I know they got to go on the road, but San Fran looked very, very pedestrian last week. They've got to come out with a new game plan this week. Uh, he's got a lot of weapons out there. I don't know if Deebo Samuel's going to play, because you and I were watching and Deebo seemed like the shoulder was hurt. He didn't play much in that game against the Packers. Luckily for them, Brandon Ayuk had a couple of nice catches,
And
and,
CMC was
and CMC does what CMC does, because he's up there for MVP of the league. And I just think that, Brock's got to step up. Brock, he got a lot of heat when Cam Newton called him a game manager earlier in the year, and people were like, "Oh my God," they couldn't believe that Cam said that about him. How could you say that about him? He's up for MVP, but it's what Brock is. Brock is a game manager. He's a good game manager, but he's a game manager nonetheless. And so I think that he's got to really step up in this game and take control of this game, because if he doesn't, and he's going to have a problem, and Jared Goff's going to take over, and that Lions defense is going to come after him, and we may be seeing Detroit in that Super Bowl. What you got?
I think it's gonna be an amazing game. I think it's gonna be. I think the hype is gonna be. It's gonna be there for this game. I think the score will be 27-24. Give me Detroit Lions. I want them Detroit Lions to win.
Calling the upset, are
Give
we?
me Detroit.
All
Give me
right.
Detroit. I told you I had an upset this week. I didn't tell you what team. It's Detroit. Detroit is winning.
Let's go. I like to see it. I'm excited for the game. Detroit Lions, San Francisco 49ers. I don't know. I like to see the upset. I'm a big upset guy. I'm a big underdog guy. I do come from the city of Cleveland. So we're always the underdog when that happens. I would like to see Detroit knock off San Fran. I can't say deep down in my heart I won't be cheering for them. But when reality sets in, the San Francisco team is kind of too loaded, man. That defense is deep.
Yeah.
Their offense has got a lot of weapons, and I think it's their
They're built
time
for
as far
now.
as the NFC goes. Yeah, I think it's as
Yeah.
far as the NFC goes. I think it's their turn. So Detroit versus San Fran. I'm gonna go San Fran. They're gonna win 31-21 pretty handily by 10. And I'm gonna be excited to watch it, but I think that San Francisco is gonna slow it down, kind of make it boring, and that's how they're gonna pull it out.
Yeah.
You got anything else on them?
Yeah, I hope Jared Goff plays like he's been playing all playoffs with that chip under his shoulder, and I hope he goes out there, hope he shocks the world. So
Yeah. Well, Let's see what he got. All right, big guy. Um, I know you and I haven't chatted much about WWE in a while, so we're gonna go ahead and bring in our next guest and talk about what's coming up here tonight at 8 o'clock. Some of y'all probably are already watching the pre-show because I think the pre-show's already begun. I haven't had a chance to.
50.
Yeah, I'm like the pre-show's already begun though. They're probably already rolling. I didn't even log into my Peacock on here.
They probably have the pre-show fights on. I know. I don't even know who's fighting. Probably like some goofy matches.
Yeah. So let me
Like
go ahead
Akira
and
Tozawa versus R-Truth. I
all
like
right,
R-Truth though.
let me go ahead and bring Joe into the screen here. We're gonna pop him in. With that being said, Joe Nazario.
Hey, how you doing? I'm glad to be here from the hometown of the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, San Antonio.
Oh, San Antonio.
San Antonio.
Shawn Michaels. He's probably backstage right now though. He ain't
Probably.
even
He's got some of his NXT guys ready to go tonight.
yeah, I'm like he's gotta push out some of those guys into the Rumble.
Yeah, that's gonna be exciting. Let's chop it up.
All right, let me see here. Let's see. Let's talk about. We're gonna run the Rumble today. I'm gonna kind of spin that into my scroll on the bottom. We're gonna go ahead and talk about that 2024 Royal Rumble. Let's talk about these first matchups. I mean, we can get into the Rumbles themselves. There's only two real big matchups. The first one's going to be the United States Championship. It's going to be Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens. I'm excited to see this match because I think that Logan Paul is kind of a little underestimated for the quality of wrestler that he is, but the kid has actually put in a lot of work into this craft, and I think that it's going to be a fun matchup. Kevin Owens moves very well for a big man, and I think it's going to be a tough matchup. Like, what you got?
So let me start by saying I do not like Kevin Owens. I don't think I've ever liked Kevin Owens. He looks like me, maybe a little bit slimmer version of me, but he does not look like a pro wrestler at all. He's okay on the mic. I just can't stand him. I've never liked him. On the other hand, Logan Paul, he's this guy that outside of wrestling, he gives you every reason not to like him at all. But in WWE, he is an absolute natural talent.
Yeah.
He's a phenomenal athlete. He looks the part. You give him a microphone, he'll do whatever you need him to do. And he's just phenomenal, and you have to watch him. And I think the matches that he has are just great spots. You're talking about him the next day. Love Logan Paul as a wrestler. I think Logan Paul pulls this off and goes on to Mania against someone we're going to talk a little bit more later on tonight about.
What you got, G?
I don't think they're gonna have Logan Paul lose the belt already, his first title defense, and he has so much revenue for the company with Prime and all that kind of stuff. And I really don't think that if WWE was smart, they wouldn't let him lose the belt quite yet, because him having a belt is idolizing kid, because a lot of kids watch him, so more kids are gonna want to watch the WWE kind of thing. So yeah, that's what I have. I don't think he's gonna lose it tonight, probably, and I don't think Kevin Owens is gonna beat him for it. So, yeah,
No, I think it's gonna be a tough matchup. Kevin can make matches get a little dirty. He'll do some funny stuff. I think he will probably get off a stunner or two, but I don't think that Logan's gonna give up the championship yet. I think that like you said, Joe, I think he's a phenomenal athlete. He comes from a wrestling background. He's from the great state of Ohio.
I wanted to add that. Right, Cleveland and Puerto Rico. How could you go wrong with Logan Paul? Right.
That's right. It's like so. I think he's a great talent. The kid has pushed himself to the limits to try to become a wrestler. And he's fun to watch. It's good to see somebody who's actually taking it from a different mainstream and come into the wrestling side of things and has actually been good at it. I don't think our buddy Miz gets enough respect for all that he's done from changing from a reality star into a wrestler. But he's done a great job. He's made a great life and career out of it. And I think, if Logan Paul really wanted to do this and stay doing this full time for many years to come, I think he could too. United States Championship, I don't think he's going to lose it tonight. I think, like you said, Gavin, it's his first title defense. he's gonna bring the pain, and I think Kevin Owens is gonna be there. He's gonna take it, and it wouldn't be the first time Kevin chops one for somebody else. So I think it'll be a great matchup. But yeah, Logan Paul wins.
Agreed.
All right, let's talk about the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, the Fatal 4-Way tonight with Roman versus Randy versus AJ versus LA Knight. Joe, what you got?
Roman, right? The guy who will do whatever to win the match, no matter how horrible it is, and it makes you mad, and then not show up on SmackDown every week like he should. It annoys me because he's great at what he does, but it's just annoying. And then my biggest problem with this match is you have at least two of these guys in Randy Orton and LA Knight are potential Royal Rumble winners. So when you get to the Royal Rumble match and you're trying to figure out who's going to win, there's two guys off the plate right there. So I don't really like this being a fatal 4-way. But Randy Orton just coming back, I think he's going to look strong tonight. Same with AJ. He's been gone for a little while. LA Knight, think about it. 1 year ago today, he was losing to The Fiend at the Royal Rumble. Yeah. And now he's in, facing for the world title. Love LA Knight. He's had a great year. And I think he's going to end up at WrestleMania against Logan Paul for that U.S. title. But tonight, Roman Reigns, he's going to go on to headline WrestleMania against, someone big. Probably know who it is, but, we'll talk about that later. I definitely see Roman Reigns keeping it.
Go ahead, G. What you got?
About LA Knight. LA Knight, the people love him. I think they made this a fatal 4-way match. I think because Randy and AJ are just coming back, and they don't want them to get injured again. So they want someone else to kind of not take the beating, but being there with them kind of thing. Take the beating
for these guys.
Yeah. Basically, don't make sure they don't get hurt again. Don't be surprised though if Randy and AJ do come in for the Royal Rumble. I don't know how long they'll be in the Royal Rumble for, but they'll probably make an appearance at some point. And but I don't see Roman losing the belt to at Royal Rumble. He's gonna have to lose it at Mania if he loses it. So, but he's not losing it at the Royal Rumble, I don't think. So.
No, I don't think so either. I think it's going to be a good match. I think, Roman is going to still continue to run the test of time. Randy, is going to be fun to see Randy back. And AJ, I don't know if you guys have really seen AJ and how jacked he is now that he's back, because he's super jacked now. He's like, I was like, AJ, look at you, buddy. You're killing Father Time now. Because he's in his. How old is he? I'm like, AJ's got to be close to our age, isn't he?
Yeah, he's in his early 40s, I think.
I was like, he's got to be 40, 42, somewhere there. I don't know, but the kid looks phenomenal still. He's still so fun to watch. I've always been,
for sure,
always been a huge fan of AJ Styles and the way he's always put on shows. LA Knight is fun as well. I mean, he's great on the mic. He's made huge gains throughout 2023 to put himself in position for where he's at now. I think he did just lose to Roman, so I think if anybody's going to lose, it's probably going to be LA Knight again tonight. Is going to be the one who does take the fall. But no discredit to him. I think he is a good young up-and-coming athlete. He will be probably, like Joe was saying, the next matchup for Logan. because he's going to realize that his time for the world title, the universal title, is kind of past him for a little bit, but it'll come back around, so it'll be time to then attack something else. And yeah, so um, I think Roman continues the streak, continues rolling into WrestleMania. All right, let me drop that down. Let's go ahead and talk about the Rumbles and who you guys are pulling for. Let's start in the female side of things. Let's not get to the guy side yet. Let's go ahead and talk about the ladies, and who we think is going to be able to possibly pull this out, because there are some good ladies that are going to be in it tonight. Go ahead, Joe. I'll let you get started on that.
Sure, great. So, right, the Rumbles are all about surprises and returns and new people coming in, debuting, and storytelling throughout this hour-long match and what's going to go on. So, my notes for the Rumbles like this, right? What do we got? Possibly Naomi returning tonight. Some of the rumblings. I don't think Sasha Banks is coming back. Mercedes Moné, I don't think she's coming back from what I've been seeing. What I would like to see is AJ Lee come back now that CM Punk's back. I'd love to see her come back for one last run. I think she'd be great because she's still in shape. And then I expect Jade Cargill to make her debut tonight. They kind of haven't been talking about her for a while. If she doesn't show up tonight, I'm thinking she's not what they thought she was. And if she is what they thought she was with training her, she's going to come back tonight and she's going to have a huge night. I think they'll give her like the Diesel push where she just clears out the ring and probably gets rid of Nia Jax herself. This is my big prediction. Normally it takes like 10 women to throw out Nia Jax. Jade Cargill's got the muscles. If I could see her just taking her out by herself just to kind of get that pop and show the audience that she is a big deal. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think Becky's going to look good but fall short. Bianca's probably going to have the big, long, 45-minute run because she's in shape, but I don't think she's going to do it. My prediction for the winner, I'm going with Bayley. I see Bayley, and I think the Rhea Ripley stuff ain't going to happen, and it's going to be Damage Control is going to fall apart. If you saw last night on SmackDown, Bayley went to give Io Sky a high five after they won the tag team titles, and she ignored Bayley. Something's going to happen tonight. Bayley's going to win and go after Io Sky at Mania.
I think that's a good prediction.
Oh,
go ahead. That's what I'm saying. I think that's a good prediction. But go ahead.
That's what me and my dad were talking about Bayley probably winning tonight. Don't be surprised. Bianca's going to be in the Rumble for a long time. I don't think she's going to win it again because I feel like she had her time. I feel like they're going to give someone else a push now. And I think Rhea Ripley will be in there tonight. I think Nia Jax will return tonight and possibly return. I'm not 100% sure about that. I don't know. Wait, is she in WWE right now or is she not?
Nia will be in there. She'll be there.
Yeah, Nia will be in there. Nia will get, I think, a decent amount of people out, and then they'll all team up on her and try to get her out. Rhea Ripley has a possible of winning, but I think it's going to be Bayley. I think Bayley will pull it out, and Bayley will fight at Mania.
Yeah. It's funny because we're all kind of feeling the same way, and it comes in, I think, with watching the storylines kind of run their set, and as they do, we're probably gonna see some people that we wouldn't even imagine being in there, but that's part of the Rumble. Like every single time you watch the Rumble, you see these random characters from the early 2000s and even some from the 90s pop up, and they surprise us, and it's exciting, and but we all know that one of them isn't gonna win, because if they do, it kind of makes it weird. But yeah, I think Becky will be fun to watch. She's gonna come in, she's gonna fight. She'll probably be in for a long time. They got the girls like Shotzi and Zelina Vega, and they'll all be in there, kind of doing their thing. Maxine Dupree will be fun to watch. But yeah, I think that Bayley has a score to settle now. Damage Control is probably kaput. And Yeah, well, I think we'll start to see the steps to that tonight once we see who does win the women's side of the Royal Rumble. And I think it, like you guys said, it's funny that all three of us are all kind of pulling for the Bailey side of things because you know when she was a face before, she was fun. You know, and when she became a heel and she came back as a heel, it was like, oh, okay, like now we see that you can play both sides. You know, her face side was a little goofy, but I think she's grown up now, and yeah, and it'll be cool to watch her, you know, in the future and what she's gonna do. So yeah, that's funny. We all got Bailey going into this one. We'll probably all have the same going into the guy side of the Rumble too, because you know we see where the storyline is going. We've seen the new additions of what's happened since.
See,
Yeah,
see.
since
I got
people
some
coming
notes.
in, but
See.
I'll let you go ahead, Joe, and get started with it. Go ahead, buddy.
All right, on the men's side, I hope Big E is ready to come back. I don't know if he is since he broke his neck. It's been about a year and a half now, I think. I don't know if that, I don't know where he's at in his rehab. I'd love to see him return. It'd be a perfect time to do it. I heard today that I don't think Brock Lesnar is coming back. I was kind of hoping they would do a Brock Lesnar and Gunther matchup. I know, Tony, if you remember back in 1990, Hulk Hogan and the Warrior were in the ring by themselves for a minute, and they was crossing back and forth, and they hit each other with a clothesline. It was a huge deal before the WrestleMania match. I would have loved to see something like that between Gunther and Brock Lesnar to set up a match at Mania, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So with Brock being gone, I expect to see Braun Breaker make his debut on the main roster tonight and just mess some stuff up. You know, he's been a monster down in NXT for a while. Let's see what he can do against, some of the big name guys. Again, like I said, with Randy, AJ, and LA Knight not being in this match, it brings it down to 2, maybe 3 names for me, right? Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and The Rock. So I don't think Cody's going to get it this year. I wish he would. He's my sentimental favorite. I just don't think it's going to happen. So I think I'm going to go with CM Punk unless The Rock is here. And I'm going to tell you about The Rock. So I don't know if you paid attention this week. The TKO Sports put him on the board of trustees or whatever, right? The board of directors.
Yeah.
And he sent out a tweet about it. And, he was on Raw. He said this a couple weeks ago on Raw. In his tweet, he said, my father and my grandfather built this table, and I'm sitting at the head of it. Acknowledge me.
Ooh.
So if he shows up, he's winning. He's going against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and that's the big money WrestleMania match is The Rock versus Roman Reigns. If The Rock's not there, I CM Punk is going to win it.
Yeah, that's a good bet. What you got, G?
I know I knew about The Rock, how about Raw when he came back. No, it was SmackDown or Raw when he came back. I think it was SmackDown. He came whenever he came back, I was like, he's calling Roman out, and I was like, I want to see that at WrestleMania, and I hope I see that at WrestleMania because that's the fight I want to see. I want to see The Rock take the title from Roman, but if he doesn't come back tonight at the Royal Rumble, I think Cody's gonna finish his story. I hope Cody finishes his story. I know you guys like CM Punk. I never really watched CM Punk because I wasn't alive for that era of wrestling. So
You never really watch AEW either, so it's
no, I don't really. Yeah, I don't really watch AEW either. But I think if The Rock doesn't show up tonight, I think I got Cody finishing the story, hopefully at Mania. So yeah, that's what I got.
No, that's a good bet.
So,
that's a good bet.
Real quick, Tony, if I could get in here real quick. So, Gavin, this is what I want you to do when we're done, maybe tomorrow after the Royal Rumble's over. Go to YouTube and look up CM Punk Pipe Bomb. All right, the CM Punk Pipe Bomb promo. That is everything.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fun matchup. I always love the guys side of Royal Rumble. This is always one of my favorite pay-per-views to watch every year because of the fact that this match right here is so fun to watch because they do bring out all these old stars. They come in, they have fun. It's really cool to watch because some guys do come out as big, big factors in this matchup. And they still have quite a few guys. Drew McIntyre is still going to be in it. Bobby Lashley is going to be out there. Gunther's huge. But there's going to be those guys that we see that pop up every once in a while, the Carlitos of the world. Santos Escobar will probably show and just to be funny, and it'll be a good funny matchup. But yeah, I'm excited to see it. If The Rock does make an appearance, I heard that there was some inklings of Bobby Lashley and The Rock having some kind of dispute. I think Bobby tweeted something today.
The Rock's on the board of directors, so don't mess with your boss, I guess, right?
So
that's solved real quick.
Yeah, it's like, but so it's like I think that if he does come back, it'll be fun to see that. I think he's one of the few guys that really can make a run at Roman, and hopefully nobody would jump in it because Roman seems to have that always in his favor. People love to jump in and change the sides.
Since they're related,
yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. I think that this match is set up for the if Rocky doesn't come back, it's set up for CM Punk to make his return. I don't know. He probably won't beat Roman though in WrestleMania. I don't think they're gonna.
He would go against Seth if Seth is there.
Yeah, it's like I don't think he'll go against Roman because I think that he's not. He doesn't. He doesn't have that.
Hey, don't forget. CM Punk was a Paul Heyman guy before Roman Reigns was a Paul Heyman guy.
That's true.
That's
true. I just don't know if they're gonna be willing to to break Roman's streak to CM Punk just coming back. I think that's almost like a slap in the face to all that Roman's done. Like, oh, the only reason why you were on that streak is because I was gone all that time.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I don't think that. I think you're right. He'll probably go after Seth's title, and so. But yeah, I think that it'll be fun to watch. I think CM Punk does pull it out. I don't think, like you said, I don't think he goes after Roman. I think he goes after Seth though. And makes a good matchup. And then there might be a future of Rocky not even having to get into Rumble and take a few lumps. He might just be able to come out and take his shot at Roman off to the side because the Rumble match is going to the other side, so.
Absolutely.
Well, big guy, I appreciate you coming on, chopping it up with us. We're this is what we do every once in a while. Gavin and I've been trying to do this weekly now, getting on here talking about football and stuff. The wrestling side of it, we haven't done it in a while. Actually, I think the last time he and I did it was
WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was a WrestleMania. Was it last year? 2 years ago, maybe. 2 years ago. I think he and I did a WrestleMania. We had fun. And I think Gia jumped in on it with us. And we got a whole bunch of people on. And they were all watching. And then they were sending me messages that they were going to watch the show. And afterwards, texting us pictures of them watching WrestleMania. Like, I haven't watched WrestleMania in years.
That was like 3 years ago. Because that's when it was in Tampa.
It might have been. Because they were in... People were just sending us messages. I can't believe it. You guys talking about it got me so excited. I wanted to watch it again. And I was like, that's cool. That's awesome. Like, that's what we did it for. It's kind of like to make you aware. And,
we used to have those parties all the time. Remember, everyone come over.
Yeah.
And good times.
That's what I was telling Gavin. I said, man, Joe and I talking about wrestling. I said, this is the guy who, this is what we used to do when we were kids, man. We used to chop it up about wrestling and, act like we were wrestling and mess around. And I said, we had a blast, man. It was good times when we were kids, though.
Absolutely. Great to be here, guys. I appreciate it. Come back anytime.
All right, man. I appreciate you. And like I said, we'll try to do something maybe for WrestleMania. We'll do a whole live feed and, watch WrestleMania, all three of us together, and sit here and chat and show our reactions to what happens.
Sounds fun.
All right, big guy. I appreciate you, man. I'm going to go ahead and just leave you on stage with us. Gavin and I will do our little outro, and I'll run the video, and we can chop it up after we close out here. All right.
All right, cool.
Hey, Jay, you got any words on the way out?
No. I hope it's an amazing show tonight. I hope it's the football game tomorrow live up to the hype, and that's all I have. So thank you for having me on the show again today.
Yeah. Had a blast with you guys chopping it up about football and wrestling. We'll continue to do so. Excited for tonight's show, and excited to see what the outcome is of this Rumble, and then excited for tomorrow's games and what we're going to see going in and coming out of those, and getting ready for the Super Bowl in a couple weeks. It should be fun. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you next time. You guys take care. See ya.